Hey everyone. Um, I've been getting a lot of requests about how I go about my scalp straight trading strategy, and I wanted to show that live here. We're going to be using past data, but we'll also look at new charts, and it's really not simple. It's a pretty simple technique that can be very effective if done correctly. However, there's one or two ways to go about this technique. But basically, we're looking on a shorter time frame. So when I'm scalping, I look at the 15-minute or the hour time frame, and I'm looking for a trend. So let's say we're just looking at this data here, right? We are continuously like going up, right? So we're looking for a trend, and here is your trend. Here's your trend line, right? We're going up, we keep bouncing from this trend line. Now for a trend line, you need, in my opinion, you need at least 3 touches of this trend line to be considered formed, okay? So we also have this, right, this, so on and so forth. So for this trading strategy, you are looking for a break of this trend and then a retest. Now, a retest doesn't always happen. So if you do play the breakdown, right, it's going to be a scalp. So you're looking for anywhere for a 1 to 2% move minimum, like minimum. Um, Anything higher, great, but like you don't want to be trying to look for a 5-6% move. Okay, so for here, we have a touch here. We broke down, right? So you could have scalped that on the breakdown if you wanted to and gotten like a 4% move, right? But you're not going to hold it, okay? I like to play this as such. We have a breakdown, right? You can enter very lightly with a small position just in case it is a fake out. And you're going to, enter here with your stop loss above the highest wick of the breakdown. Okay, so in this case, you're only risking 2%, right? So I'm going to remove this for a second, but I would enter on the retest, a successful retest. Now here we retested, okay, not cleanly. Like if I drew this chart really clean and precise, you could see there is the retest, right? So on that retest, you're going to enter there with your stop. There is resistance here, right? So you can place your stop loss above there. Again, 2% risk here, and you're going to take profit on the way down at support levels. All right, so there's a support level. All right, we bounced from previously, we bounced there again. Here's another support level, right? We went up, bounced there previously, we bounced there again, right? So you're going to take profits at these support levels. However, it's not necessarily that these levels are going to get filled. So whenever you are in good profit, please do take some, okay? Now, this entry at this retest is also confluent with a resistance there, right? So on my red resistance line, we have this retest of this trend line. We have rejection here, right? Rejection here. We broke back down. So this is still a SR area that has not been flipped, okay? We flipped this resistance level, this top one here, with this touch there, that touch there. But when we broke down and turned that to resistance there, we also have not flipped this resistance, prior resistance to support. We broke down below, rejected there. We have two confluence. We have our trend line and our resistance line there. Perfect area to short. You have the confluence to back it up, right? And we're going to place our stop loss above there. TP1 hit at the support level, TP2 hit. Whenever a TP hits, you're going to move your stop loss to break even. If TP2 hits, you're going to move your stop loss from break even to TP1, and you're going to play it that way. Okay, so now this strategy works wonders. Now this is on a daily, or sorry, on the hour chart. But look, right, broke trend line, did not retest, right? So if you entered with a small amount, you would have been good. But look at this, like here is, I'm gonna move the support line up here. There's resistance there, right? Rejection, we went above, failed to hold, rejection there, came back down. Okay, so you could have shorted here as well. Even if you missed this, there is your resistance level. But based on this trading strategy, on this breakdown, you could have shorted there, right? Stop loss above the last wick, so about 2.3% risk, and you're going to take profits on your support levels. Okay, we can keep going. This just keeps happening and happening. It's better on the 15-minute if you're scalping, but this doesn't end. Okay, here is another one. Okay, so trendline touch, trendline touch, trendline touch, trendline touches. There's three, right? We broke down. Here is your retest. You could have entered on this breakdown there, right? But the safest method is the retest. Place your stop above the highest wick, so like right there. It's a 1.7% risk. You know, this would have been a 9R trade, almost a 10R trade. Okay, you're gonna take profits on the way down. So here are your support levels. Support, support, right? And then further down, probably like there. There's more up here as well, right? But you get the gist. Um, this just works and keeps working and keeps working. See, you could have. There is your trend line, right? We broke down here. You could have got a quick scalp if you shorted the breakdown, right? 2%. Actually, further down, 3%. We got back above, right? On this breakdown here, you could have shorted, or you could have waited for the retest. So like right there, right? So if you had entered on the retest here, your stop would have been above here, 2%. Right, there's your trend line drop and retest. Now you have Confluence here with your resistance level. Right, so trend line, second Confluence resistance here. Stop above there, 2%. This would have made you another almost 10R. So this method, if you're scalping, again, 15-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, this method works as long as when the trend is broken, it's going to drop down a lot more. Okay, so this is how I go about this method. Right, on the 15-minute, you would have got more scalps, but let's look at a chart that's more recent. Okay, so let's look at XRP. So let's draw. Okay, so you can go about this so many different ways. Here's a 15-minute chart, right? Bounce, went up, bounce on the trend line, went up, bounce on the trend line, and then we broke down, right? You could have had on that retest right there. That is resistance as well, right? So entered there, stop loss above here, of that wick. You're not risking much here. I mean, this is a very tight stop loss, right? You can give yourself more wiggle room if you want it and go a little bit higher. Um, but then you caught a nice move down, almost 8R. Here's another one, right? Bounce, 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 breakdown. You could have shorted the breakdown there for a quick, what is that? Like 0.5%, right? Now we're waiting for a retest here. Let's see if we get it. You have resistance, right? We went above, failed to hold, rejected, went above, flipped it to support for a quick second, then failed, dropped down, turned it to resistance again. So now we are looking to see if we reject here. Two ways you can play this. You're going to wait for rejection, candle close below, then you can market short. Place your stop either above this wick here, and then you're going to target support levels on the way down. Okay, so wherever you want to do it, take profit. Okay. This was a demand or supply zone based on my definition. I have a video on my account for that as well. You could have played this supply zone and gotten a nice move down, but this goes on. Like, I can keep going back. Like, let's go back here. Trend line, broke trend line, right? In this case, we didn't get a retest, but we just dumped from there. Okay, so it's a very easy but effective trading method. You don't have to think about it as much. It's very calm. You just have to be there at your screen to do this. So what can you do to help you get, to that level? Or for the price action to get this level, you can set alerts, right? So you still want 3 touches of this trend line. So let's say we had this touch here, this touch here, this touch here, and we're going up. So you have a trend line drawn, right? So you're going to extend the trend line. Now, like, we're here in price action, you're going to put an alert for yourself around like 47.474 and see what happens there. Like, if price gets down there, which we got here, we had a bounce, right? So then you're going to be watching this breakdown. You can market short, small position if you're shorting the breakdown, just in case it is a fake out, just like this one, right? But the reason why I say small position is because we may never get a retest. So at least you can get in with a small position, and you can add to your short when support is flipped to resistance. So if you shorted here, you wanted to add more to your position, what could you have done? Here is a support level that I had drawn. Right now it's resistance, so like we bounce from it, right? We bounce from it. Once we went below and turned it to resistance, you could have added to your position. It would have brought your average a little bit lower, but you'd have had a bigger position now, and from that point on, you got a 10% drop almost. Okay, so that's how you play this trading strategy. Pretty small and effective. Any questions, you can leave them in the comments, and I'll get back to you. Yeah, that's it. Thanks, everyone.